Happy Monday evening, everyone. We are back here for the final time.
I had my push to talk off, so pretty sure
Yep,
everybody
and
could hear me all yesterday. Whoops.
shut up, Garrett. We are back here for the final time, at least for now, but still no promises for the future. You're at Monaco, and as you guys can see on the screen, we have pretty much the same weather as yesterday, although I think we're going to be starting on intermediates tonight. But nice little pleasure tonight. We have Garrett again with us tonight, like we did last night, and we actually have the man, the myth, the legend himself, the dude who started it all, Duncan McCamick. He's cooking some chicken, but he's also in here with us right now.
Coakage already have damage?
Damage. Yeah, he does. It looks like he hit his wing on the way out.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Shut
Joining
up,
the
Jeff.
broadcast again for a little bit.
Oh, I'm just making it. They're going to do broadcast. I'm going to say a quick little thing, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not prepared.
We are live.
You are a terrible engineer.
Me?
Fletcher
Should have pit. Like,
to what?
15
Remember,
laps
it was
earlier.
raining. It was raining.
He could have got
They
sick.
drove to the rain on medians for some reason.
For interns?
Oh, wait, never mind.
Right, remember we were
What?
like, we kept
thought it
saying
was
he needs to
dry.
pit, but we never looked at the weather.
You're
so
crazy.
so-
The whole
But-
time we're like, why is he not pitting? What is Jeff doing?
We were waiting for the rain.
I forgot about that.
We were getting two different answers on like when it was going to start raining.
Are we starting this, Frank?
Hey, we're going right now.
I'll be-
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sitting there with my push to talk on talking this whole time. We're actually going right now. So, I already brought us in, introduced Garrett and Duncan, but then Jeff came in and interrupted, but at the same time, y'all couldn't hear me. But you can now. So my bad. But yeah, we have a little damage from Roldy. You'll have to come back into the pits. Duncan, if you had anything you wanted to say, feel free to now.
Dude, I just want to say that I am so grateful for everyone who's been a part of this entire journey as ZRL. I think this moment, maybe it was coming, but it's bittersweet. I know there's like, there's definitely from the back end a whole lot that goes into like the production of these streams and the setting up of this league that a lot of people don't understand. And I think, as Frank could probably attest to, it is extremely tiresome over time. So it sucks, but with the attendance and like everything with F1, that I think the best thing to do is just look back on all the great times we had in ZRL, and that's what I'll forever remember this for. And can I request that we get like a memories channel or something? Because is that a thing, Frank?
We can try. I mean, yeah, we could do something like that. Yeah, I know people have been posting a lot of old clips in general chat since last night. But yeah, we can do something like that.
I would
get
love
a bunch of clips together and make a whole video.
Yeah, someone make like a montage or something. Put someone in the community on top of that. I know Peter had like the history of ZRL thing going, but it's probably only half completed at this point. So, but anyway, yeah, I just wanted to say like everyone who's been a part of this, honestly, everyone who's driven, but especially special thanks to like literally all the stewards, everyone who's been an admin, everyone who's volunteered to broadcast and put this thing together. Like, we literally could not have done it without you. And I think that the memories that we've created here for everyone, that's something that we're gonna remember forever. And I've literally had like some of the like best emotional ups and downs from this league, man. I've had nights where it's like I'm sitting here screaming in my chair, like in celebration with the Red Bull guys, and there's nights where I'm literally so pissed at a steward decision where I can fucking barely sleep. So, oh wait, are we PG now? I don't know.
No, you can do whatever. No.
Okay. Anyways, but no, like literally, like this league it's meant a whole lot to me from the very start, and I guess this is the goodbye for now, at least. I don't know if you want to say goodbye forever, because you never know what's gonna happen down the line, right? But at least goodbye for now. But yeah, like I said, so many good times here, and I literally just like I think about the memory, like the good times all the time, and I would love to just like see like a memories channel where you can like talk about everything good or fun that happened.
I'll go. We'll get that set up as soon as the race ends.
Also, one more thing. Like, it might be the death of ZRL League Racing. That's one thing. But this community is far from dead. This is a gaming community, and we have our origins that I think no one will ever forget. But, there's still plenty left with ZRL in the future.
Yeah, hopefully. It just probably won't be with the F1 game, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think we've all had our fill of it at this point.
Adding to Duncan's community comment, I will say I feel like unlike a lot of other leagues, some of us have actually made lifelong friends from this. Like from all of us that have met up in Indy for the Indy 500, I don't see a lot of other leagues doing stuff like that.
Yeah. No, we did some really cool stuff, man. Like you said, like these are people who I value like on more than a game level, and it's crazy that this is the world that we live in now. But like these people who I met online, like Cal, Fitz, Frank, and it's like even Garrett, you and I have like gotten closer through this thing throughout the fucking years, man. So it's like Jeff's here too. Like Hudson, I flew out to California and met Hudson. Like this is crazy, and it's just
I mean, yeah,
all
there's
this.
been a lot of ZRL meetups. Maxime Pilon or Pilon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's unfortunate that they can't give us a platform to continue, like good platform to continue what we love doing. But I think the community is we've kind of built something here that can't be destroyed, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and on top of that, dude, there's even like legacy of ZRL that's going to continue, right? SRA is still going. They used to be a part of this.
Yep.
And then we have Beer League, which originally was started by you. So, I mean,
Yeah.
even if we hang it up, it's not dead forever or dead for good, since part of us continues.
Yes, I agree.
I know this is a little weird, but even like our 2K NBA, like our pro-am team is called ZRL Zoomies. I mean,
yeah, and I know there's like a pro clubs team out there for FIFA too. So it's like this thing will live on, But I think I can't see it completely losing racing in all forms. I don't know what's in the future with Frank, but like there's probably some sort of maybe a little bit of dabbling in iRacing at least or something. I don't know, but a community founded on racing. I'm sure we can't go away from it forever, right?
Well, we'll have to figure it out. I know like right now we're just all burnt out with this, and I know both Cal and I are are trying to put ourselves in a better spot in terms of just our personal lives. So I think once we get that worked out and in a more ideal place, I think we'll be able to fully commit to making something like an actual iRacing league, or if the new Assetto Corsa doesn't have like total ass multiplayer, maybe that's the next step. Who knows?
I'm so out of the loop. I didn't even know there was a new Assetto Corsa.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to come out next year, so we'll see what that's like.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, hey, one more time, I just want to say thank you to everyone. You guys have literally like made my life so much better, which sounds crazy through a freaking video game, but everyone, these experiences have literally made my life awesome. So thank you for that, especially you, OG. I don't know if you're out there, but more than anyone, dude, that's my hero. And other than that, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. This is my final sign off. So goodbye, guys, and good luck in the Monaco race today.
Thanks, Duncan.
Adios.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So while Duncan was yapping, like he always likes to do, making everything about himself,
I was crying.
Yeah, definitely a lot of emotions. I think.
I didn't hear him thank any engineers. Pretty sad about that.
When did you ever actually engineer Duncan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. What am I talking about?
I engineered all you guys that first Red Bull season.
True. Wait, but who came first? Was it Chad or you, or did you guys come at the same time?
I think Chad came first because when he was reserving, and that whole like debacle, and then I came to engineer Chad, and then I just kind
Okay.
of stuck around after he quit.
Freddie's just stopping on track. Typical.
Doing some weird stuff on his way back into the pits there.
To slow down Spanini.
I'm gonna go sabotage my drivers. Have fun, guys.
Thank you for the inputs.
So, as it currently stands, let me pull up my telemetry info here. Excuse me. We are stuck in intermediate tires for the rest of the session. Excuse me. We will start in cloudy conditions, and then it'll progress towards the rain. That is what it's showing. It won't progress as quickly as last night, but very similar conditions to what we saw last night. At least in terms of rain showing up, but it may not get as wet.
So we are probably looking at a hard to intermediate.
Most likely, pretty much the same thing. I don't know who ABI underscore 16 is, but this dude has joined and left the server about 1,000 times. I appreciate you joining, but well, it's doomed. So unless you want to join right now, you can join the session right now. On quality. So we have Ethan here, who is only 3 seconds off the pace. Has already experienced a game crash here. We'll see. So last night, Garrett, we had 5 finishers, right? What do you think? How many are we going to get tonight?
Let me take a look at the grid.
So Fred is here, but he's not
Yep.
blasted like he was last night. So that
It's
potentially...
still I mean, he's out on softs at the moment in the rain, so we shall see.
Yeah, we're not there. Actually?
He is. It says he is out on softs. Unless
That might be the fastest tire. Tire Delta shows that is the fastest tire right now. That doesn't make any sense, but it does. We'll see. Let's hop on board with Chonk, who's on track. We get some more Tire Delta information, because that's definitely not working. It's like Chonk just ran out of fuel. Tire Deltas are showing that softs are 1.7 seconds faster than his intermediates right now. But it doesn't show his intermediates or new intermediates are faster than his old ones that he's wearing
Fred
right
has
now.
lost his wing.
So it's not. Team telemetry is lying to us, unlike it tends to do.
Yes, it appears he's just drifting around at this point. Whether I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but I'm going to guess that those are not them, and he cuts the track. For any of you who would like to penalize that, go for it.
All right, Chonk out of fuel. Spanini finishing a push lap right here. Spanini well off pole at the current moment. And a small improvement there puts him into P5. Looks like he's going to push back to the pits here. We're
Back to what
sitting-
you said about how many finishers. I'd like to say we'd at least get 9. Ideally.
It does seem like we have... This is more of a veteran grid than we had last night.
There's a few in here who I'm not a huge fan of their racecraft. Not really gonna Saint Chonk, but there are some people out there who tend to get in accidents. But for the most part, like you said, yeah, it's a lot of veterans, a lot of people that have had a lot of clean races. So I expect more finishers today.
It seems like everyone has been here. I would say like the newest people in here is Chubb Tucker and Nadewell.
Kiwi?
Kiwi is, I think, has been here longer than both of them.
Oh, I didn't know. I
So
thought
yeah, this is Kiwi's 3rd season with us, whereas I think it is technically Nadewell's 2nd full season or 1st full season. I'm pretty sure. And then Chubb Tucker, this is his 2nd season with us. I think he may have reserved a couple of races before his 1st full season, but I think Kiwi, in terms of veteran status, has the most time with us. So that, and then Fred and Nick and Simon and Rigraff and Spanini. Chonk has been here for quite a while, since the Division X days. Back, I think, Season 5. Combine's been with us since before the dinosaurs were extinct. Roldy's been here just as long, and Ethan's been here since Season 1. So I
was actually thinking of something last night. Who has had the most seasons in ZRL? I was thinking maybe it'd be Fletcher. I think he's been here since
Fletcher, I
Season-
remember had a couple of seasons that he missed. I feel like this is actually something interesting. I can kind of look through and see if we can try to make a little count here. I can look at our archives. So Fletcher's
maybe
been
I'm wrong,
around. Fletcher's going to be hard to count because he's literally raced in every division except for 4.
but I feel like he's been here since season 0 or 1. Maybe I'm confusing him with someone, but
Fletcher has been here that long though. Jack Fletcher, I believe his first season would have been. I can go find that right now, actually. Season 0.
I'm watching Simon at the moment on softs, and it just does not. I don't know if he's messing around, but
No, it's the team
softs don't
telemetry
look good.
delta is showing that softs are the fastest tire, but they're Nadewell blowing the competition away with the 17.5s. Maybe Nadewell decided to use some Whataburger tech for the last race. Hopefully, it would be hilarious if there was one person just cheating blatantly, but I actually couldn't find any cheats when I was looking before the race. I couldn't find like a place where you can buy only F1 cheats is gone. Jack Pemberton. Jack Fletcher was here in season 1. That was his first season. So
That's what I thought.
Jack, and on this grid here, it looks like Jack Fletcher and Ethan are the oldest dudes, or the most veteran. But Ethan has missed quite a few seasons, whereas Jack has not missed as many. And there was some, was that Fred and Simon shenanigans here, with Fred cutting the Nobel chicane to get in front of Simon, and now he's backing him up.
Typical Fred.
So, as it currently stands, boys, we are in a championship battle. We have Rigraff and Combined. All right, Fred and Simon having some fun. Simon not pitting. Fred continuing here on the intermediates. But we do have a championship battle between Combined and Rigraff. However, in order for Rigraff to beat Combined for the championship, Combined would have to DNF and Rigraff would have to finish second. They would, if he finished second, he would tie with Combined and he would win out because of the win tiebreaker. He has 1 win. So, and Combined has like 35 third place finishes in a row, so with no wins. So,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Simon is gonna kill Fred.
I would not be surprised. Nadewell in the Whataburger part looks like he's going to be starting on pole here. Freddie Razzle is improving, but not by that much. Looks like about a 600th improvement as he goes through the Novell chicane. We'll roll along with him as he heads through this final sector. 3/10 improvement for him right now. So still not clearly and still not even close to Nadewell or Chonk right now. So Fred 17.9 puts him into P4. Simon on soft, so he's not improving. Spanini invalidates his final attempt, so he will move up 1 position. Simon will move down to, I believe, P11. Simon will move up to Simon will be moved down to last place, excuse me, with his 5-place grid penalty. So
Some of these guys are lucky it's the last race.
right.
Otherwise, there would be multiple season bans.
Time to ban Simon and ZRL just for the fun. All right, okay, we're clear through, so. All right. So that does it, guys. Again, Nadewell on pole, followed by Chonk and Nick Hamrick. So Chonk showing off some really nice qualifying pace the last couple of races. However, his race pace always has him fall down the order by quite a bit. But we'll see what he does here. I didn't actually pull up our standings, but it doesn't matter. I forgot to copy them and put them into OBS. But like I said, it's literally just Combined and Rigraff. So
Well,
Gonna make a
I'm
nice
saying-
$5, dude. Take combined out and then help Rigraff get second place. I'm kidding. Don't actually do that. I can't. If it was like, I don't know, Spanini in the race for Rigraff, you know, I'd be okay with you crashing Spanini out, even though that would be mean. But combined is too much of a nice person and has been here for so long and has never been has always been one of the more,
I feel like he's
I don't know,
always
mature
kinda-
people.
Not just that, he's always sat around like 7th to 5th place in standings and never been a contender.
That too. So, like, if there's anyone that deserves championship in ZRL, combined is definitely one of those dudes.
I have this like secret hatred for combine because back when I was in my prime, like I raced Div 2 a lot, and I could pass pretty much everybody except combined, and it always made me mad because if I got stuck behind him, that's where I was going to finish. It didn't matter if it was lap 1 or the last lap. I could never pass him.
Well, that's kind of how it goes. Let me move this up. You have a. Sorry for tabbing out there. As everyone's doing their stuff, I have went ahead and made a memories channel for everyone. So that is right underneath general. If you want to post any videos or whatever, we may at some point. I mean, I'll probably, if we have enough stuff. I mean, honestly, while I was working today, I was thinking when I saw everyone posting all those clips today and last night that when I have some free time, I'm going to go back, smash them all together, and put a nice little video to kind of cap off ZRL YouTube for now.
Funny thing is a lot of people may have to go grab their old PC to get some of those videos. I mean,
Bro,
there's been a lot of
you're such a
upgrades.
boomer, dude.
No, I just like
Look, when you upgrade PCs, you should move your drives to your
Nope.
new PC.
Nope,
Yes,
I'm not the one.
I have
Same
I have
thing.
5 storage devices on my computer because I'm accruing them over the years, you know. So, all right, here we go, boys. Lights are flashing here. So,
away we go.
thank you, Garrett. Nadewell with us.
39 laps of commercial free amateur hour. Here we go.
Chonk really aggressive, just driving into the wall, trying to pass Nadewell. He's going to get a run on him here, basically pushing him offline as we head up towards the hill. Chonk actually in front there, driving Nadewell into the wall. Nick Hamrick looking to try to make anything happen. Nadewell goes into the wall there. Let's see, any damage for him? No telemetry, so I have no idea. So, there's a Red Bull. That's Nick Hamrick. Nick Hamrick goes around. So, it looks like
a lot of havoc.
Rigraff went around Chubb Tucker at the hairpin, it looked like there, or maybe just held onto his position. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on there. Fred has not torpedoed anyone yet, but Chonk with a really nice start to the race. Probably a little bit over-aggressive with the amount of contact he had as he overtook Nadewell. But it does look like they went through cleanly. Oh, it looks like that was Roldy having to cut the chicane, locking up in a battle, I believe, with Kiwi, or maybe with Ethan. It was hard to see, but you could see it on screen there in the back. But it looks like everyone learned from Jack Fletcher and Jeff's strategy disaster last night. We see Combined bumping into the back of Ethan there. So Ethan actually in front of our championship leader. Now Fred getting in front of Nadewell. So Nadewell, even though putting himself on pole by his... Oh, what is going on there? Is Rigraff was
Chubb
What?
Tucker.
with
Hold
camera
on,
follow.
We have a race.
Oh my god. What we really need is just like the most disastrous buggy race of all time. And we've already got started with that. Roldy looks like he's into the wall back here. A little bit of wing damage, so he's going to have to pit to get that thing fixed. If you're listening, make sure to set your wing to yes. Or your repair wing to yes, so you don't have to, go around again. But yeah, Chubb Tucker getting in front of our Rigraff with the most bizarre overtake, basically driving under his car. So, I forgot to tell Spanini to set the safety cars to increased, so maybe we can get something weird. Dang. Time to restart. What do you think, Garrett? Time to restart?
I would love to see that start again. I am not opposed.
So Chonk currently leading the way into lap 3 here. Ethan already getting a 3-second time penalty. Nick Hamrick ghosted in front of him, so I guess Nick Hamrick has left. Oh, nope, he was just ghosted, so he's still going. Freddie setting the fastest lap. So roll the into the pits to fix that broken front wing. Like that, he'll definitely have to pit again because there's no way he has another tire to get to the end here.
I am honestly surprised with all this carnage and mayhem. There has not been a DNF.
Yeah, so far so good, right? We had how many people retire and quit in the middle of the race last night in the first couple of laps? So
I believe we had 10 people race and only 4 or 5 finish.
we had 5 finish. All right. I mean, technically, I think Jack Fletcher didn't finish because he crashed out. But, well, we counted him as a finish. So now we're kind of seeing a bit of a gap form here between Chubb Tucker and our 3 leaders. Chubb Tucker getting in front of Rigraff may actually hurt the rest of this field here, but Chubb Tucker's pace isn't too bad right now.
Do you know if Rigraff has any damage? I know I saw him he got in a couple little incidents with people, wall banging going around.
So right now, the only one with wing damage is Roldy because he did not have his front wing replaced when he pit. So he's still rolling with that damage and looks to be lapped if he were to pit again to get that replaced. And, you know, as I'm sitting here talking crap about Chubb Tucker, look at him actually gaining on our leaders. So Chonk now in the lead. Nadewell setting the fastest lap on the previous lap. Ooh, a big little bit of a traffic jam there. Gets Chubb Tucker into the DRS of our 3 leaders. Rigraff now a little bit outside of 1 second. Potentially under threat. Yep. So Freddie maybe not close enough to send it on the chicane here. Chonk going super wide at the after the downhill section of that corner. Nadewell right on the butt of Freddie Razzle as well. So Chonk looks like he may be struggling a little bit. So Nadewell a little bit wide in that corner, but it is a bit different this game. So Freddie now on the battery looking to try to make a send here on Chonk, but not close enough, so we'll have to wait till the next opportunity. We'll roll with these guys as we see this battle unfold. Fred is definitely showing off some nice pace right now. But because of Monaco, not able to make that happen. So a little bit of lockup we see from Nadewell on board there. Fred not close enough to send it on Chonk in the hairpin. Definitely looks like Fred is taking more ideal lines, I would say, Garrett, through particularly these slow sections. Looks like Chonk is kind of missing the apexes by just a little bit, which may explain maybe the potential pace difference we're seeing right now.
I believe you're right on that.
So Chonk going through the Nobel chicane a lot better, and Nadewell already picking up a 3-second time penalty. So last night we saw the time penalties do a lot of work for a lot of people last night. Cam Bourne picking up P2 because of the amount of penalties in front of him.
I believe this is going to be a lot closer race than last night. I know there's a bit of a gap forming, but with the rain coming and everything, I think it could be anybody's race at this point still.
Very possible. So as we look at this, looks like our rain will come in about 15 minutes. Looks to be the weather graph.
Freddie.
Oh, we're going side by side now between Nadewell and Fred. Looks like Nadewell's going to send it up the inside there, almost getting spun, hanging on to that. Very brave move from Nadewell. But Fred hanging on to that position, and now Chonk being ghosted there, and now Fred goes... the amount of times these guys, they're racing so hard, they keep bumping into the back of each other as they get to the hairpin. I'm not sure if anyone has any damage. Chonk being able to get himself back into the potential fights. Actually combined over here racing. It looks like Nick Hamrick having some issues as he was overtaken by Combined, now racing side by side with Ethan Patel. Nadewell picking up another penalty. Ooh, okay. A lot of wheel banging there between Nick Hamrick and Ethan, but Nick holding on to that position for now. So Nadewell with 3 seconds of time penalties already. So Nadewell just racing for the hell of racing at this point. Nick Hamrick picking up a 3-second time penalty on that lap as well, if I can remember how to use this thing. Oh, here we go. Nadewell actually only has 5 warnings, so he must have actually had to cut a corner to pick up that second 3-second time penalty. So one more warning, and he may actually be at another penalty. Back here, though, our championship leader. Again, all he has to do is finish the race to win the championship, even in P20. I guess actually a P20 finish, which won't happen because we don't have 20 drivers, would give Rig Raff the opportunity to win if he won the race. As it would result in a tie. But Freddie still stuck behind Chonk here. Nadewell still right behind both of them, but again has 6 seconds of time penalties. Still looking. Telemetry says 22 minutes until rain. The weather graph is going to skyrocket here in about 15 minutes. So I imagine everyone will be driving until we see some rain start to fall. The only difference between now and last night is the rain percentage, instead of going all the way up to like 95, it's only going to max out at about 80, and that's in about 30 minutes. So that'll be right at the end. But Fred's showing a lot more restraint tonight after he torpedoed like 7 people last night. Oh, and then Nadewell bumping the back of him. Fred kind of taking some defensive lines here. Having to kind of avoid Chonk. Looks like he, at certain points in the track, looks like he has a little bit more speed than Chonk. And he's having to avoid crashing into the back of him. But Chonk is doing a really good job right now keeping everyone behind and not picking up any penalties. So well played to Chonk so far. Chonk only has 2 track limit warnings, whereas Fred has 2 of his own. Ooh, Combined going into the wall there, actually having to concede a position, and Nick Hamrick actually going to try to go back at him. Nope, he's going to back out. Can't fit too. Oh, man, Combined going sideways, ghosting again. Be overtaken potentially by Ethan Patel here, going side by side into turn 1, and he does get overtaken. So Combined really struggling back here, kind of giving us potential, maybe thinking maybe he will have a moment. Maybe he actually isn't going to finish the race, but no damage for him yet. But he did just lose 2 positions because of self-inflicted issues there. So you touched on this a little bit last night, Garrett, how like the fewer drivers can kind of help with the strategy calls. I mean, we're in a weird strategy call situation right now since we're waiting on rain. But you might think if the rain doesn't come until until like in the second half of the 20s or something like that, do you think it might be worth pitting now or relatively soon to something quicker, build as much of a gap, or just, you know, put yourself in a nice position with new tires, and maybe you might actually make something happen when you have to swap to the rain tires?
The only problem with that is I feel like the telemetry is not very consistent or reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying it could rain at the end, but there may not be any rain at all. So if they go to the mediums now, I mean, they're going to struggle at the end.
True. Spanini picking up a 3-second time penalty.
But it is a gamble for some of those people, you know, behind Chubb Tucker, you know, that 4-second gap.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something they should look at. Chonk is struggling.
Oh, look at that. Fred just like so much quicker through the hairpin, basically having to push Chonk through it. But let's see, Fred, does he get a nice run on Chonk? He's going to dump his whole battery, it looks like. Let's take a look. We can kind of hop on board here with Fred. Looks like Fred's going to look to send it. Chonk going defensive. Nowhere for Fred to go, so Chonk going defensive and right in just the right places at the current moment. But with the way Chonk is taking these hairpins, we may not be far away from a potential send from Fred. And it's also nice to see, with the exception of Roldy, who's having to drive by himself because of the wing damage, everyone's racing pretty tight right now. Nick Hamrick actually, Kiwi going around at the penultimate corner. Kiwi with a little wing damage, so she will likely have to pit here.
It may not be a bad thing for her. She may end up gaining some time, even with spinning out. Get some clean air, some fresh mediums, make it to the rain.
And just kind of find your groove, right? With some clean air, no pressure. Nadewell sending it down the inside of Fred as we head towards whatever that corner is called. I'm not sure. Now they're going side by side into the hairpin. I don't know how Nadewell sticks it around the outside here. But now he's on the inside. He's going to get the position from Fred. So Fred taking too long to overtake Chunk, and Nadewell's going to get the position. What an overtake by Nadewell there. A very bizarre place to see side-by-side racing, but they were both able to make it work.
Very impressive as well.
So I'm sure Fred's not too peeved about it because Nadewell does have a buttload of penalties. So we'll see. Will Nadewell have the extra pace that Fred did not have to finally clear Chunk? As you can see them start to gain back the time lost driving side by side. Down here, back for P5. The other Rigraph in the fight for the championship. Sprini was right behind him, but the nature of those last couple of corners makes it hard to follow really close as you head towards turn 1. Nadewell up the hill, just under a second to Chonk. Chonk with a humongous slide there. Ghosting, so Nadewell's going to be in a nice position now to fight for the potential on-track lead here. Again, Fred nose right in everyone's tailpipe. Little bump from Fred again. Nadewell may be looking to try to do the same thing he did to Fred on Chonk here. But nope, a little bit too far back to make anything happen yet. Let's see, does he hop on the battery? So he's going to dump a little battery here, probably in defense of Fred, because Fred is still driving very aggressively. But no moves as we head through the Novel chicane here. Telemetry showing light rain in 12 minutes.
If Nadewell can get around Chonk, he could pull a 6-second gap.
It is very possible. I think the only issue though is if he clears Chonk and he does have the pace to clear him, that also makes it a little bit easier for Fred to make something happen, because while Fred was behind Chonk, he was having to look both ways because Nadewell was right up his butt also. So Nadewell looking for some space here, not able to make anything happen as we go into turn 1 there. Fred maybe, someone is stopped on track behind, looks like combined. Spanini into the wall there, causing a VSC. So Spanini no front wing at turn 1 here. Going to be a fun lap as he drives around the track here, but slows down our...
Spanini he really wanted this win. He said this is the only win that he's ever wanted in ZRL was Monaco.
Okay, I see what you're saying. He's had some nice chances in the past. He talked about it with us last night. But yeah, so that'll slow the battle up here at the front and also slow the race down as the rain approaches closer and closer. We're looking at 11 minutes now to light rain.
Nadewell spun under virtual safety car.
Okay, so...
Wonder if that was due to Fred hitting him.
Hard to see because the camera went to a really bizarre angle even though I was watching Fred, and I may have just looked away. So Nadewell now a little bit behind. Still have to work his way back up. Nick Hamrick picking up a drive-through as I say the VSC ends. Did we get any other penalties? Looks like just Nick Hamrick. So unfortunately for him, he's going to go ahead and clear that right now. Nadewell already caught back up with Fred and Chonk, but he did lose a position to Fred, so now he's back behind him. Nick Hamrick retiring from the session. So the first bum has been named, and his name is Nick Hamrick. So, yeah, old Mr. Baby. So yellow flags for the Red Bull on track right now. Looks like Spanini is still in the pits, and it's starting to rain. I think it's raining. Okay, so it says 10 minutes, and it's already raining now. So the second it starts raining, Nick Hamrick retires in the pits. Like the adult baby he is. Fred looking really aggressive here on Chonk, trying to go around the... Oh my god, he completely cut the corner there, trying to overtake Chonk. Looks like he's going to actually potentially get the position. They're going to go side by side. Fred going into the wall. Nadewell now looking for his opportunity. Oh, pushing Fred off the track. Oh my god, they're going into each other. Fred going sideways. Nadewell still going. Fred falling down the order. Oh
I'm
no.
not sure what happened earlier, but that may have been a little bit of payback for if that was Fred's fault for Nadewell spinning.
potentially. Fred with wing damage, not pitting here, so Fred staying out. We see his entire front right side, or front right end plate is gone. Chonk, big benefactor from this. Chonk now in the lead without Fred there. And Nadeville with 6 seconds of penalties, and the rain now is coming. Tire deltas are showing up on my screen, but we're still 8 seconds away from this specific tire relative to the intermediate. Looks like we're more like 6 seconds away from that tire.
Goes around and breaks his wing.
So now Rigraff is around, and now he is behind. Chonk has left the session, so Chonk crashed. Chonk's game crashed. Oh no. Let's try to invite Chonk before he loses too much. Or hold on. I'll sandbag him for a second while Nadewell gets in front of him.
But don't do that.
I'm kidding. I already invited him. I've invited him twice. Chonk, I sent you 2 invites. If you need more, please send me a DM.
That's unfortunate for Rigraff. He was making his way up, and he was 2 positions from that P2 that he needs to be in.
Oh, so Nick Hamrick apologizing to Spanini in the chat, saying that he may have caused the incident that we saw Spanini that resulted in Spanini losing his front wing. So the big issue, I'll try to send Chonk another invite, but the big problem for Chonk right now is that the AI is likely going to start trying to pit him. It loves to just pit at the most bizarre reasons. Nadewell taking the lead of the race from Chonk as Chonk is disconnected from the race. I don't know why you're question marking me, Chonk. You have 3 invites, bro. Number 4. So I see yellow flags somewhere. I think that's Roldy, who is slow to move in the middle sector here. It looks like he's missing half of his front wing there.
Hope I don't curse this, but I've always kind of respected Roldy. He could have a terrible race, and he always sticks it out to the end.
He does. His whole thing is, can I finish? You ever see his YouTube channel? All of his stream titles are always ZRL round whatever track, can we finish? Or will we finish? Or let's finish, or something like that. So he's always just about just getting to the end. And you know, a nice thing also, Roldy has shown some really nice pace at moments this season, particularly hanging with a lot of D1 guys at Baku and at Silverstone. So
He's always been a very reliable racer too. If he signs up to race, he's gonna race.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I mean, it kind of gives you an idea of kind of where we're at in this league. Roldy was a young lad when he joined. Now he's a dad. It's got that dad debuff, Garrett. I'm sure you're very familiar with.
Yes, I am.
So now that Chonk has rejoined the session, Nadewell has driven up the road about 3.7 seconds, and now Chubb Tucker's going for a move on him. And Chonk goes in, just drives Chonk into the wall there as we get the tunnel. Simon looking to make his move, just completely cutting the snowbell chicane, not getting a penalty somehow. What? Okay. Just did not even attempt to make an apex there, but there were cars.
Oh, and look at this. Ethan's all the way up to P5. Where did he come from?
All of it. Oh, as you say that, a big snap as he got on the brakes there going through the last couple of corners. So Chubb Tucker, the first one into the pits. We are still not anywhere near intermediate, so whoever made this call, this is a Ferrari disaster class, if I do say so. Chubb Tucker puts himself into P2 and then drives himself out of the race. Ooh, big snap from Simon in pursuit of Chonk here.
Chubb Tucker may be trying to gamble. He may be hoping these guys get halfway around the track and it just starts coming down.
I mean, we have seen that in this game. There have been several occasions, particularly in D2 races, where the weather just flips on its head in a spectacular fashion. So Roldy breaking his front wing again, unless this is the same front wing he had already broken. No, this is the new front wing. I think maybe his 3rd front wing already. So he's gonna have to go back in and get another one.
Yeah,
Ethan
Freddie
with
make the overload.
Yeah, Ethan had a really bad exit on that previous corner. May just be getting bad enough to where it may be time just to get off these tires. They are old as we are 18 laps in, but I mean, the tire wear is still not that high. We're still under 20% for most drivers. Simon now looking to potentially battle for P2 from Chonk here. But like you said, I mean, if Nadewell can get in front, he might be able to clear him. And he had about a 3-second handicap from Chonk taking so long to get back in.
And the battle that everybody's been waiting for, it may take place.
Freddie
versus Simon.
Freddie versus Simon. So combine the next one in. So combine going into intermediate tires. Tire delta is still a ways away, about 2 seconds off.
It does look like the rain is picking up a little bit, though.
It definitely is. So my graph right now is showing as we move from now to 20 minutes, we're going from what's showing about 40% rain to about 80, a little bit over 80%. So the rain will just get worse as we head towards the end of this race. So the big thing we saw last night that Jack Fletcher kind of burned out his intermediates just with one incorrect lap. So we'll kind of have to keep an eye on these guys wearing. Chubb Tucker already at 6%. 5%, excuse me. Yeah, 6% on those rears. And he's only done one lap. So definitely too early. And he's going to regret that tire wear when the rain actually starts coming. Even if we get to that point. So now here comes Roldy out of the pits. He has been lapped, I believe. But he is racing Rigrav. And who's that stopped?
Hits the wall.
Oh, that's Nadewell. Nadewell is stopped on track. So Nadewell bended going into the penultimate corner. And now his whole front wing is gone. And he'll have to go into the pits. So now Chonk back into the race lead. And Nadewell picks up another penalty. So Nadewell now up to 16 seconds. So any hope he had of the race win here is gone. Freddie actually did get in front of Simon. I think you mentioned that. I did miss it. Fred has wing damage. So that is something he'll have to drive with until the end of the race, I would imagine. Ethan has wing damage also, but less than Fred. Now Fred going for the lead of the race here, causing Chonk to ghost. Chonk just flying all over the place. Maybe Chonk's terrible internet has returned. Because he is just ghosting through Fred. And Fred gets that position, and Chonk goes into the wall.
No, he did not.
He did not. Okay, well, it's just Chonk's super good internet appears to have returned. Unfortunately for Chonk. And that lets Fred take the lead of the race. And yeah, we just see Chonk all over the place. So with the way things are currently standing, there is a possibility that Ethan Patel wins this race. Although after that corner exit, it doesn't look good. Chonk's still all over the track. It looks like Simon having to cut the track to get through him. Oh no, he's coming to cut the track again. Trying to keep up with Fred. So Chonk having some huge lag right now. Simon going into the pits, following Fred. Chonk following him. Looks like Chonk somehow got in front of Simon. I don't know what's happening here. Ethan following them. Chubb Tucker now looks to be trying to take the lead of the race, but again, he's already at 13% tire wear.
Ooh, Freddie went to mediums.
Fred went to medium, so his race win is in the
Chonk.
toilet. And okay, so they're out of it. So now Chubb Tucker is in the lead of the race on really bad tires. Fred and Chonk are on the wrong tires combined now. Actually, might be in potential position to win the race. Also, Chonk comes out right in front of his teammate. So now Chonk's going to get Combine's going to have Australian internet lag and Chonk terrible lag in front of him. So that should be interesting to see. Nadewell only comes out right behind Combined. So I believe he still has that 10-second time penalty. Let's see. Yeah, Nadewell still with 16 seconds of penalties. But let's see. So Chubb Tucker 5 seconds up the road, and Chonk and Combined having to clear two medium runners here. Chubb Tucker, even with his terrible tire wear, maybe this is going to work out for him.
Like I said earlier, he may have been trying to gamble and hope these guys couldn't drive in the rain, and he popped the inners, and it looked like it paid off.
So Chonk struggling heavily here in front of Combine. Looks like he's going to move over and try to let him through. No, some spicy lag from Chonk moving him down 2 positions. So Combine gets in front, followed by Nadewell now, and now Simon behind them. So we have literally zero. The only intermediate runner right now without a penalty is Chubb Tucker, and he is at the front of the race. So maybe this is what I called the Ferrari disaster class. Or and Chonk
Retired.
Chonk has retired, so he went into the pits and retired. So that does it for Chonk. So his bid for the race win is now gone. Roldy picking up another time penalty. So now Combine. Go ahead.
It looked like Chonk may have been having some pretty bad internet issues. He was I don't think it had anything to do with his pace. He just kept lagging further and further back. Maybe he was getting the screen freezes or something.
Something was not working for him, so a little bit of F1 Codemaster magic for Chonk right now. Combined in Nadewell. You know what's one thing that's happening is that gap to Fred is not really closing that much. So Fred, let's take a look here. Let me pull up our timings.
I would imagine we're pretty close to even at this point.
No, Fred is in the 21s. Everyone else is in the 19s. So we'll see what Fred does on this lap.
No, the tire delta.
Oh, tire delta, right. So right now, it still shows that fresh softs are quicker than intermediates. So at least for Fred. So Fred's going to get off of these tires, put on some inners. Now, you know, one thing that is a benefit for Fred here, he's going to come out in clean air, and he's going to come out on newer tires than everyone else. And we see Chubb Tucker with, I guess at this point, 5-lap-old tires with a couple of dry laps in there. So his tires are in really bad shape, whereas Simon's are only 6%, Chubb Tucker's are 23%. But a big gap for him to work with, and even if he gets overtaken, he may be able to inherit the lead of the race because of penalties. So Chubb Tucker, as he called it, the gamble has so far paid off. Simon actually getting in front of Combined as somewhere in that mess. Nadewell pulling away from Simon. Now on the hunt for Chubb Tucker, but likely not enough laps for him to clear 16 seconds to everyone else.
Now, do you think these inners will make it to the end of the race?
I think so.
Tucker's.
So if we're looking at Simon's, he's only at 5%. That is, or excuse me, he's at 8% after 2 laps. So we're sitting at, what, 16 more laps? Shoot, we may have to see another pit stop. I bet you Chubb Tucker will have to pit again. No shot he holds on these tires till the end.
He may try and do what Quentin did his last 2 Monaco races, where Quentin on the last lap of both races had punctures. One of which he was able to win.
Very possibly. The other thing he could also do is make a preemptive pit stop, put himself on new tires before everyone else has to pit, and then just have a big undercut.
That's if, because if Nadewell and Simon and combined, if they can't keep up with Chubb Tucker, they may just want to stay out. And because I could see some of these guys staying out and trying to get their tires to make it to the end.
Potentially. The issue with the DRS disabled. Okay, so we finally got the crossover. So DRS has finally been turned off. So Fred was not in the worst potential strategy spot, putting on those mediums, as they were still quicker. So that it looks like tire deltas for Chubb Tucker, it shows that his mediums are faster, but it doesn't give me any intermediate details. So I think the tire deltas now are just nonsense, unfortunately. So we'll just stop referring to those.
I think
But
it's
in
safe to say wets or intermediates are definitely faster.
Oh yeah, for right now, with the DRS being disabled, yeah, that's definitely the
Ooh, this combined is all over. And Ethan sending it down the inside.
So combined struggling. Rigraff having to pit again. So Rigraff, I guess, broke his front wing, or did he finally just pit for the first time? Nope, he did 5 laps. So Rigraff nowhere close to finishing in P2. So right now, his potential championship is well in the toilet, even though it was not, likely to happen in the first place. But in terms of pace right now, it's not the biggest gap, but Chubb Tucker has done 20s, did a 20.3 last lap. Nadewell did a 19.0. So we're definitely seeing some difference in tire wear here. Chubb Tucker dumping that battery as he heads down the tunnel here. So the race is definitely the gaps between everyone has definitely widened quite a bit. The only people really racing each other at the current moment is Combined and Ethan. So even though the rain is sometimes nice to see, it does kind of pull everyone apart sometimes. And we're kind of seeing that right now. As we had a nice tight battle, and then everyone pit for intermediates, and now it's all spread apart. right now it looks like Fred and Nadewell are the fastest people on the track. Fred 18.6 last lap, Nadewell with a 19.0. That gap down to Nadewell, between Nadewell and Chubb Tucker now at 5 seconds. It was about 11 seconds when Nadewell overtook Chonk for that position when Chonk was doing whatever was happening with him.
The end of this race could be very, very spicy if some people decide to pit for new enters.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine we're getting close to that pit window, if not already there, to put on new boots and just try to force everyone else to pit. Because the nature of Monaco, somebody at some point is going to start holding people up, and that'll give you an opportunity to catch back up with the field. And I think, honestly, Chubb Tucker might be in a nice position to just pit now, put on new tires, and because he's in the 21s lap-wise now, he is just leading time, and his tires, 38%.
Has Simon disconnected?
Not for me. He is not ghosted, so he's still driving.
Okay, never mind. That was Ethan passing a ghosted Roldy.
It is a ghosted Roldy, I believe. He is his lap down at the current moment. So Nadewell still closing that gap, but again, we'll go ahead and move on over to our detail to penalties. Give you guys some context with things. Nadewell with 5 million seconds of penalties for speeding, and then had a bunch of penalties early on in the race.
Ooh, as Freddie hits the back of Combined and does a little punt to pass.
Gets that position from Combined. So Fred's still in a position to potentially race for the race win here. Chubb Tucker, again, pitting just one lap a little too early, definitely making it work in terms of track position, but his tires are just in the toilet as he goes over 40%, I believe.
He is definitely going to wander into puncture territory.
It definitely looks like he will. So right now, if we look, we'll bring up our tire information again. 9 laps. We still have 12 to go. He's definitely, his tires are not going to make it to the end, it appears.
That's the thing. He could gamble, and do you remember the race? There was somebody had 99% tire wear, and they made it to the end of the race.
I can't remember who it is. I don't remember.
It was somebody who had, I don't hate saying it, but somebody who had cheating allegations against them.
Maybe it's Ryan. I cannot remember.
I want to say it was Chad.
I remember seeing Simon do a race where he finished the race with literally 100%. But
it's possible. It's something.
Fred sending it down on Ethan here again. A lot of contact. Ethan basically not giving this up. Ethan just driving Fred off of the line here at the hairpin. Ethan not happy with the way Fred overtook him in the hairpin or in the corner before. But both of them having damage, no extra damage, however. So Fred getting that position. No shot we see Ethan torpedo him through the chicane, do we? Okay, no. Ethan's going to drive it out.
But I think I can speak for all of ZRL when I say nobody wants to see Fred win this. And that includes Ethan.
Yeah. So another thing with the punctures in general, just how they work. When you hit that puncture territory, that arbitrary mark, usually about 75%, a timer starts. A random timer just starts. So you could literally get 5 seconds puncture, or you can get 2 hours and then puncture, and you'll never get a puncture. So it's impossible to predict. It's just the second you get to that puncture territory, you just clenching your butt cheeks, hoping your tires don't explode.
So I'm saying it could be something that some of these guys may want to gamble if people start pitting.
Yeah, we're right at that point. 10 laps to go. This is the opportunity. Chubb Tucker, I think, at this point has committed to just holding on to not getting penalties and hope his tires don't explode. But he is at 11 laps now and is at 50% tire wear, or just about, excuse me. Nadewell is getting closer and closer. I think the other thing that potentially could happen here... No, Nadewell isn't gaining from Simon, but if he gets in front of Chubb Tucker, maybe Chubb Tucker becomes his rear gunner. Nadewell somehow gains 16 seconds, 13 seconds, whatever he needs before the end of this race. That is Whataburger copium, but
Nadewell is reeling in Chubb Tucker at an alarming rate.
So Chubb Tucker is going quite slow relative to a lot of the field. 22.2, Nadewell 20.7, Simon 20.2. So even though Nadewell is pulling Chubb Tucker in, Simon is also pulling in Nadewell. So now Chubb Tucker is now, or excuse me, now Nadewell is now within that DRS delta of Chubb Tucker. The other thing that's going to happen is the weather delta. The weather is getting worse. So I think the weather is actually the worst it's going to be, or actually, it's going to be the worst it's going to get in 5 minutes time. So we're still in light rain conditions. It's going to be heavy rain here in just a couple of minutes.
No, Nadewell needs to make a move, otherwise he is going to have everybody and their brother right behind him.
Yep. This Chubb Tucker on these ancient tires definitely struggling a little bit. 52%. Not an ideal place you want to be, especially with it getting a little bit wetter. I mean, even for Nadewell, 37% is his tires.
Oh, is Nadewell just barely
BSC.
hit the corner. This would be the time to pit.
So Chubb Tucker, I'd imagine, may go in. Simon will likely stay out because he has the pace to hold on to the lead, I would imagine. Will Chubb Tucker pit as he goes through?
I don't know about how Nadewell.
Nope.
DNF. I watched him. I was on board with him. He looked like he just tapped the corner, but his wheel exploded.
It's not the first time we saw it. We were on board with Mateo last night. He did the same thing, and then I believe
the slightest of taps. I back in like season 1, I watched Cole Cummins rage and drive 200 mile into a wall, and he survived it.
This damage model has always been very bizarre. It if you drive into someone's side pod, or you drive your nose right into the wall, it's like that piece of the car is completely indestructible. But if you tap your wing, you tap your wheel, then the weird things can happen. So Chubb Tucker's still in the lead. Nadewell, who had just caught up with him, crashing out at the Novell chicane. Ooh,
looks like we had nobody pit.
Nobody electing to pit. So that may actually
Kiwi pits.
Kiwi pits, but Kiwi is already back in P7, but there's a humongous gap behind Kiwi. She likely just wants to get off those tires and have a more pleasant finish to her race. Kiwi now potentially under threat of being lapped as we see the Ferraris coming around the final couple of corners here. Simon now right behind Chubb Tucker. Now Simon driving the Ferrari is the Mercedes TP, so this is not some Ferrari teammate stuff going to happen here. Simon's going to be racing Chubb Tucker.
Simon was a very late entry today, too. He decided 30 minutes before the race he was going to race.
Yep, we see him bouncing into the wall there a little bit on the battery, looking for an opportunity. What will the camera give us here? Simon not on the battery, not looking to send it here. Chubb Tucker a little understeer as he goes through that corner, excuse me. Tucker missing the apex there of the hairpin by a little bit. Simon tapping him from behind. So let's see, Simon with a buttload of battery. Oh, and Chubb Tucker goes into the wall. No, so Chubb Tucker's bid for the race win is over just like that. Chubb Tucker missing his front right wing. Will likely have to pit to just be able to make it around the track. And now Simon and Fred are last men standing. Fred running with wing damage. So it looks like Simon may be able to build the gap big enough to hold on to this lead. Both of them sitting at 3 seconds. Freddie sitting at 5 warnings, Simon sitting at 4. So Fred gonna have to do his darndest here to try to catch up with Simon with a little bit of damage. Chubb Tucker having to pit to get that wing replaced. Finally put on some fresh inners. But the benefit for Chubb Tucker is he still has some time to kind of maybe catch back up with potentially Spanini and Combined here. Maybe make some moves happen before the end of this race. This tire delta is going to be heavily in his favor as everyone else's
Especially
tires.
With having no penalties as well, he could
Yep.
for
Potentially.
sure make up some spots.
Oh, yeah. Maybe looking at a P4. I'm sorry. That was Ethan Spanini now is coming out behind Chubb Tucker. Fred is actually gaining on Simon. So Fred is pushing very nicely. We may have actually saw a mistake from Simon. No, Simon did the previous lap behind. Did a 23.1, whereas Fred did a 20.1. 20.7, excuse me. So Fred's tires are better than Simon's right now. 34% on the rears for Fred, 38 for Simon. It's also possible that Simon is purposely sandbagging so that he can race Fred in whatever spectacular fashion we'll see here.
It could be. I know this is a matchup everybody's wanting to see. ZRL's favorite Brit versus the most hated. You guys can decide who's who. And if I know Simon, he is not going to let Fred pass without consequences.
So, two drivers are about to enter the ring here, and I imagine only one will get out of it. So, with a potential murder-suicide or a murder between two of these guys, Combined may actually wind up in his destined place of P3 in his final race. And we may see a potential Ethan Patel race win if both of these guys kill each other. So here we go, boys. 5.5 laps to go. Fred catching up with Simon. Who will make it to the finish line?
I'm not crazy for thinking that, am I?
No, you're not.
I just do not think Simon will let Freddie by.
No, he will not. I think Simon has to be letting Fred catch up with him. There's no other way to explain this pace.
And did he hit some sort of drop-off, or...?
There's no drop-off in this game. It's a linear fall. It's like the older games where it's more of like a linear deterioration of the tire rather than drop-offs. So I have to think that Simon is purposely backing Fred, and they're going to race each other to the death.
I may have a conspiracy here. Simon may be backing Freddie up, hoping Ethan can catch up and get this race win.
Well, everyone is sitting on 3 seconds of time penalties, so the only way for Ethan to beat them would be to finish in front. So, and it's going to be really hard for Simon to back him up that much because Ethan's pace is really bad also. Well, you know, Kiwi is lapping in the 21s, Ethan's lapping in the 24s. That's kind of what I mean. Not necessarily bad, but old tire bad.
Ethan's just bad. We can say it.
and as you mentioned that, he's actually losing time to Fred. So Fred and Simon. So Fred with damage already, as you can see on the screen. Simon with no damage.
It looks like Simon is just...
Simon is absolutely trying to back him up. He is purposely... He is holding it on these apexes.
This may be a strategy. It'd be like a safety car restart. If you slow them down enough in a corner, they can't pass at Monaco. And whenever you go, they have to time it.
Well, they can't pass you until they drive into the back of you. And then it's a disaster for both of you. So, let's see. Simon still hanging on to that position now. Fred with a really nice run on him as we head up the hill. Going into the back of Simon, just driving him into the wall. So clearly some shenanigans happening now. Oh no, Fred driving into the back of him again. Will Simon just torpedo him? He will. Oh god. So here we go. Simon's going to drive into Fred, just cut the corner. Drive Fred into the wall. Oh, this is exactly what we were hoping for, isn't it?
It is. I am loving this.
Oh, Fred not picking up any extra damage so far, but they are they're doing it. Yes, they do. We will have equal performance on. There is a non-equal performance setting. in this game. But yeah, we run equal performance in our league races. So Ethan now cutting that lead by about 3 seconds to Fred. Simon again just just stopping on these apexes. 3.5 laps to go. 3 laps to go, excuse me, as we cross the line here. So far unsuccessful in taking each other out of the race. Simon braking really early there, trying to bait Fred into an accident. So will Fred send it on the corner? Looks like Simon's tapping his brakes as they go up the corner. You can see Simon bounce back a little bit. So Fred going into the back of him again for the 100th time.
I would love to add that these top 3 guys are all sitting up in call together. I'm interested to know what those comms are like.
So Fred racing cleanly so far. Simon again holding off the throttle there, trying not to go into the back of Simon. Fred really wants the race win. Simon wants the meme win, it appears. So 2.5 laps to go. Ethan Patel technically in this in the battle for a race victory. And we all know that one of these people have to DNF, right? So that Combined can finish in his beloved 3rd place. Oh, actually doesn't even matter because Chubb Tucker's actually behind him now. So Combined's sought after 3rd place cannot happen unless both of these race leaders drive themselves out of the race.
I believe we are going to see DNF by the end. The way these two are fighting,
Oh.
if it comes down to the last lap, there is definitely going to be a dive bomb that even Tanel would enjoy. We're expert on bombs.
Oh, man. So Simon, it looks like he's pushing a little bit harder now. Not sitting at full battery anymore. Fred losing a little bit of time. Not able to just sit right on Simon's exhaust pipe. As I say that, there's Simon holding it at the apex again. Chubb Tucker actually overtaking Combined. Heading to turn 1, and then Chubb Tucker slides into the wall. So Chubb Tucker a little reckless. No damage, it appears. But back up towards the front. So Ethan Patel holding on to a podium position for now. Chubb Tucker has a lap and a half to close. What, 9 seconds? 8 seconds? Oh, here we go. Fred just trying to drive Simon into the wall. Not successful. No extra damage for both of them. Now Fred is going to look to push as hard as he can. So let's see what Simon has in play for us as we head towards the final lap. So Simon dump his whole battery here. Fred going to dump his entire battery as we head towards turn 1 for the final time here in ZRL. Simon with a very aggressive attack at turn 1 there. We'll just hold on the onboard here. Simon with a solid run on Fred here, but not close enough to make any kind of moves here. With a big send from Simon. Goes into the back of Fred. Looks like Simon's going to send it every chance he gets. So Simon back onto the battery as we head down the hill. Fred going defensive. Simon just driving to the back of it. Fred going into the wall.
Clean overtake by Simon Dalston. That is the best overtake I've ever seen.
Oh, fireworks here at Monaco. Fred just being driven into the wall. Picks up more wing damage. Basically missing his entire front wing now. Simon running off into the distance. I think we're going to have to award Fred the race win here. Because that bullshit.
I mean, Fred did the same thing to multiple people throughout the race. So.
Yeah. I guess race winner means it's Technic Speedy. So let's see if he can finish this last lap. We will award the race win to Ethan Patel for not driving like a donkey.
Ethan said his game crashed. He needs an invite. I don't know how old that is.
That's old. That's old.
Okay.
That wasn't qualifying.
Chat is just now popping up for me. Strange.
So Simon finishes the race but has a 25-second time penalty. Freddie Razzle finishes the race and he has a 25-second time penalty. So that means Ethan Patel after not racing for 35 races in a row because he's a bum, picking up the final victory here at ZRL with Chubb Tucker in second, and then combined in his Destiny place, P3.
We probably should have mentioned we were doing live steward.
Yeah, live steward. Yeah, that's well. I mean, at this point, I can just do. We can just do whatever we want. So
In that case, combined YouTube has been disqualified and Rigraph is awarded the win.
not that kind of live stewarding.
Oh, dang. Well, it's been interesting. One
Kiwi,
of
the
more
final.
exciting races.
It is Kiwi, the final one here to cross the line for ZRL. And the Red Bull absolutely failing at her donuts here. Just can't get the car around. But here she comes. Bidding for Red Bull to cross the line for the final time. For ZRL. As Red Bull was always Duncan's team. I didn't mind. Shit. I drove a Red Bull for so long.
I was in there for a couple seasons.
So, yeah, you were. So, I mean, everyone drove at Red Bull except for the people who drove for Mercedes. They all suck. So, yeah, that does it. We see a couple of frauds not on the podium. Ethan Patel, race winner. So, yeah, whoever wants an interview as we finish this up, feel free to hop in the waiting room. We will pull you up and we'll reminisce. And then we will all say sayonara one last time. Just do this. No one has everyone on, but yeah, we're just gonna ping everyone 500 times tonight. Get shit on. All right, so we have Mr. Technic Speedy, our race winner tonight.
Oh yeah, dude.
Race winner.
I saw Simon and Fred up ahead. They were both bums, dude. And
They are bums. I can't wait for you to go back and watch the replay and see what they were doing to each other.
oh, don't worry, my side monitor had the whole thing on.
So Ethan, very active as an Alpine TP this year, as we all know.
Oh, they love me over there.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, we got a lot in the waiting room. We're gonna be here a while, fellas. Grab your popcorn.
So Ethan,
Therapy time.
first of all, how do you feel after being the race winner at final ZRL race and the final Monaco race? Do you feel
All
well
I can say is
deserved?
I'm him, dude. I'm Mr. Monaco. I don't know who else. Dude, I won that race by 30 seconds, dude. Like, where was everyone? I didn't see anyone.
That
Most people
is
probably had to work, so they couldn't practice all day.
Okay.
so, Ethan. One thing we've been asking everyone who's been hopping in here with us is like when you think of your most memorable races, excuse me, not your most most successful or whatever, just your most memorable races when you think of ZRL. What comes into mind?
I think there's this Monaco race. I was on Aston Martin. I had just been traded from Red Bull. It's my first season on wheel. Me and Joel had practiced like all week. It was like me, Joel, Labib, and Thermo in that Aston Martin team. And I should have won. I should have got pole. But of course, in classic Ethan fashion, I qualified like P3 or something and then bended on the first lap. I came back for like a P7 or a P6. But that was like one of the races where I was genuinely like one of the fastest people on track, but just couldn't get it done.
Ethan is also his first season here. Everybody had high hopes for him. He was very fast for how the league was at the time. At the time, we had, I believe, 10 races in a season, and Ethan picked up the name Mr. DNF King because he DNF'd 8 of the 10 races.
Yeah, it was
Thursday.
it was I remember I came in, yeah, my TT was really quick. I'd grinded Bahrain. And I remember I think I was one of the reasons Duncan turned off TC fully. Because he's like, how are you doing this? I was like, no TC and stuff. So he turned it off, whatever. So through the week, everyone was like, this dude's quick, this dude could win. I bended in quali on my first race at Bahrain. And yeah, that season was miserable. I was just bad. It was on a controller. I don't know what I was doing. I was
You were
quick.
you were also the reason that we turned ghosting on. Or
Yeah, shout out
a big reason.
shout out your best friend, dude. He told me that I should have dodged him. Oh, yeah, one of my favorite moments was when Duncan took me out at Austria. Um he spun out and just collected me when I was on for podium that same season.
That is a famous clip that has been shared a lot. So, it is amazing because Duncan somehow survived the whole thing, but you
Nope.
died. So,
What was that captioned? Am I thinking of the right race?
I don't even remember. It is Austria. You are thinking of that.
No, I'm not thinking of Austria. I'm
Oh.
thinking what was it?
Abu Dhabi?
Abu Dhabi, yes. Where you
Oh,
spun
vi-
out. Ethan Patel is Dookie or something. That meme has been thrown
Oh,
around.
Ethan Patel,
Oh,
Danky
no.
Driver.
See,
I can't.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
no one knows the backstory of that clip, but me and who was that guy? Kenny LaFleur, we were going side by side, okay? And then it was a racing incident, but I was put around, and Barney, who's in P last, comes around and just makes a gif of it, dude. Like, no one ever saw my POV.
All right. So, Ethan, we have a lot of people here waiting to go. Do you have any final words before we ban you from the whole server?
This is a racist. No, but seriously, love the league. Love y'all. See y'all in general.
All right. Thank you, Ethan.
Good race today.
Thank you, Garrett.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you,
just,
Oka.
and as you guys can see, we'll give him a little timeout just for good measure. And then who else? How did that race finish? Oh yeah, Chubb Tucker, who's not in. Oh, there is Chubb Tucker. There he is, man. The 37 or the 58-year-old dude from Alabama or wherever you're from, dude.
Kentucky, but close enough.
Kentucky. Oh, okay. So yeah, you're not our only Kentucky resident, but Mr. Chubb Tucker, I guess Mr. Tucker, I guess is the proper way to say that. Almost a nice finish for you there. Although because those two Brits don't count because they killed each other at the end, we're giving you P2 just for fun.
Oh,
so
sweet,
congratulations
awesome.
on the podium.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. First one this season.
So Chubb Tucker, I know you haven't been with us for super long, but when you think about your time here, and you think about your most memorable races or even just moments wherever, what comes to mind?
Most memorable race would have to be like my race win last year, and just that whole Mercedes team atmosphere last year with Ranger and everything like that it was really nice coming into ZRL and just being welcomed in with open arms, really, and the way that we would all practice together. Just it was a nice community to come in and feel a part of it really from day one. So. That was what was nice about it, and plus, I mean, you were always really cool too, and put up with all my shenanigans and stupidness. By the way, I don't intentionally I'm really bad when I get wing damage. I'm still trying to push it. I don't actually intentionally crash out every time on that. There was once that I did, but not every time. Just so you know.
Wait. So while you're in here, what happened with you and Zoro Langston earlier this season? Because we caught on stream that he started torpedoing you. What actually happened?
I have no idea. I was in front of him, and then he just literally he took me all the way to the wall, and just kept hitting me there. It was basically like a battering ram. I have no idea what happened. I didn't do anything to him. I didn't cut him off. I didn't do anything like that. I think he was just mad because he had spun earlier and he was just frustrated. But it wasn't because of me. I mean, I was behind him, and yeah.
Well,
I don't really know.
that was a
If
very
it was something that I had done, like I would understand it. I'd be like, okay, you know, game respect game. But you know that didn't happen. So
it was a very bizarre moment, and kind of a ode to, or kind of a, I don't know, kind of showed us how the season would go with those dudes just kind of immediately leaving after that race. So a little unfortunate.
yeah, no, but I really want to say thank you to you and thank you to everybody. It's been a nice thing. It's been a nice league. It's been a great community, and you know it'll still continue to be a great community as well. But you know that hopefully it's one of those things that it's gone just for now. You know, it's see you later, not goodbye.
Well, we'll see. Well, hey man, thanks for speaking with us, dude, and thanks for racing with us the last, I think, 3 seasons. Is kind of when you joined ish.
Yep.
And yeah, always a chill dude. Appreciate that you hopped in here with us. So have a good night, man.
All right, thanks. You too.
And then, if I remember correctly, oh yeah, it's Combined, who is not with us because he had to go. But congratulations, Combined, on that P3. It was your destiny. We're totally not rigging you into a P3, right, Garrett? We're just
Oh no.
he's getting the P3. So we'll kind of roll down this order here. I think we'll go with Kiwi as the next one in here.
Whoa.
What's up, Kiwi?
Hey.
So, Kiwi, I know we mentioned this a few times on the broadcast, but you always have a nice little story with you joining mid-season for Alpha Tari back at the end of F1 or in the middle of F1 23. Basically driving at the back by yourself the whole season.
Yep.
And then the next season in D3, you were fighting for race wins and podiums basically week in and week out. So fantastic little upswing for you, and definitely, I'm assuming, a much better experience. But that's kind of what we talked with Cam Bourne last night. He was someone who kind of went through something similar where he just got better and better and better every season. But Kiwi, when you think about your time here, even though it hasn't been super long, and you think about your most favorite races, most favorite teammates, whatever, what comes to mind?
Yeah, I want to give I don't know if he's in the server anymore. We're going to give a big shout out to Aaron Green, who was my teammate last season. He was very helpful during the races. Awesome teammate. Very supportive. And also shout out to Magnus and Cube. He was a great TP kind of starting out in league racing, and once again, he was very supportive and a great engineer, and was always very, I don't want to say smart. I don't know how people would react to me calling him smart, but I would say maybe very experienced when it came to strategies. I remember, was it last season at Silverstone, I think was my best race. I guess in my history in this league, starting, was it P15, and then ending up on the podium was very satisfying, and I had a lot of fun that race. But yeah, this league has been like super awesome when it comes to just kind of how things are run, and Frank, you've done a very good job kind of just running everything. I know I'm not super like active in this league, but like kind of just from what I've seen, y'all are just amazing and supportive and all around like amazing drivers. And, yeah.
Well, we definitely try it.
Saying that.
Yeah,
Not everybody's amazing.
if you weren't watching the broadcast, I definitely recommend you going back to see those final few laps between Simon and Fred. That gives you a nice idea.
Oh, I did see that last lap overtake.
So,
that was definitely one of the overtakes that I've seen.
So Kiwi, it's been great having you here with us. And I'm glad that you were able to, kind of get an experience, kind of get a part of why me and Garrett got so invested in this league. It hasn't been, it peaked a while ago, and it hasn't been exactly what we wanted. Like, we had 5 divisions at one point, and everyone's engineering for each other. It's super competitive. like Duncan is banning people because they beat him in a race, and and
During even setups would get you banned. It was
yeah,
sweaty,
there was
it was competitive,
there
it was fun.
there were times if you leaked team setups, bro, we would literally kick you out of your seat. Yeah, it was stupid sweaty, and a lot of drama back then, but at the same time, just how competitive it was. I'm glad you were able to get that with with Madison Cube and AlphaTauri, and a little bit with Red Bull, because it just hasn't been as prevalent as we would like. But again, Kiwi, thank you for racing with us the last 3 seasons, and I guess have a good rest of your night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you guys.
And so
Right.
probably it's just oh, go ahead, Garrett.
Before you drag someone else in, I was gonna say back like when it was sweaty, I remember working a full-time job and then also putting in 30 hours of practice for
Bro,
certain tracks.
That's what it was,
Like,
dude. It was like all you thought about all week, bro, was the ZRL race. The ZRL race you'd have Saturday night or Sunday or whenever, dude. It consumed my life, like unironically. So I feel you there. So let's go ahead and bring up some British people so they can go to bed. So we'll start with Simon, who has been given a 30-second time penalty for dirty driving, even if it was justified.
You know what? It is what it is, but deserved.
Sir,
I think everyone in this server can agree.
I'm sorry, not a 30-second time penalty, a 34-second time penalty. So if combined finishes in front of you.
Beautiful. Always the plan. Anyway, yeah.
So Simon, we didn't get to speak last night, but you have been a TP a little on and off, but pretty much since you joined. I mean, I know we had our moments when you joined McLaren the first time, me engineering for you battling for the championship a little bit in Division 3. But you're kind of along there with what I'm talking about with Kiwi and Cam Bourne, where you started out at a specific pace, but then only got quicker and quicker as your time here grew. But when you're thinking back about your experiences here and the people you've met and gotten to know and your races and things like that, what memories pop into your head when you think about ZRL?
I think it was season 8 where I was in D2 with Max and I was in Mercedes, and it was like a great environment to be in. Just you wanted to practice for the race, like you wanted to be a part of the team, you wanted to do well, and like you worked as a team, and like that always like reminds me of like a time when the racing was really like competitive. Like after the last couple of seasons, it's been fairly competitive, but not like what it was back in season 8, or I think it was season 8 or something like that. But yeah, definitely then. And becoming TP myself is definitely been quite fun with like Alfa Romeo, obviously getting them from like 8th to 3rd or whatever it was, 2nd, I think. But yeah, it's been good. It's been great. Gonna miss it.
I'm not sure what else to say, dude. I mean that kind of nails it. We were just talking about that with Kiwi also. It's like, yeah, back in the season 6 days, I think the season you were actually talking about was season 7.
Okay.
But regardless, yeah, it was definitely we definitely peaked a long time ago, and we've basically been chasing that peak for the last year and a half, I would say.
Yeah.
And it's been a challenge, and it just hasn't really worked out. And that's kind of a big reason why we're stopping, is just we're not anywhere close to what we want to be. So if we can't be, if it can't be what what all 3 of us kind of fell in love with, and we're just that got us so invested back in the days, and it's probably just best to just stop and let it, and not dilute those memories,
Indeed.
So I mean, Simon, was there any last words you wanted to give before I time you out for 60 seconds and then you go to bed?
Well, Freddie is a terrorist and always will be a terrorist. Not as in, but racing terrorist. And yeah, I mean, thank you for, the memories, the races, everyone in the server who's watching. It's been great. Ups and downs, crashes, not crashes, great races, not great races. But yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, amazing.
I would like to thank you, Simon, for being one of the only non-annoying British. You are definitely top 2 in the ZRL community.
I
That has been
appreciate
voted.
it.
That has been
I
voted on.
voted. Oh wow, who's won?
It's a toss up between you and BuzzGod.
You know, yeah. To be fair, Buzz is allowed to say he's a great guy. If you're watching Buzz, you're crap at
He's most
FIFA.
certainly not
Not
yet,
who won me.
but he's definitely asleep. All right, Simon. Have a good night, man, and thank you for everything you've done the last few years, man. It's been great getting to know you, and I'm glad that we got to share all the time we have. So thanks, bud.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys.
And timeout, Simon. So good night, Simon. And they'll bring in the other Brit, the certified terrorist,
himself.
Mr. Freddie Razzle. The Razzle Dazzle, if he's still awake.
Ban.
Unlucky. So Fred has fallen asleep on the toilet like he usually does. And we will hop up and we'll bring Rigraff, the last person who, well, finished the race. I guess Chonk is in there too. Mr. Rigraff.
Oh.
The legend himself. Long time. Rigraff has been here for as long as I can remember. I don't know. Rigraff, do you even remember when what your first season may have been?
I think it was
3, wasn't it?
3. Yeah, I think it was 3. 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay, so you've been in here for just basically the same amount of time I have. I think my first race was December something 20. I can actually look. It's the day I joined. It doesn't say. How stupid is that? Whenever it was. It doesn't say anymore. It used to say full bio. Oh, here we go. December 16th, December 10th, 2021. That's how long I've been in this server. And that was, we raced Abu Dhabi in Division 3. And I remember Axelias, he won't shut up in our chat the last couple of weeks, who is banned and he will likely stay banned. Was my teammate. We drove Haas. I remember racing against guys like Siggy, the legend that was Siggy, crashing in the side of him. I don't remember. That was before you. But, I mean, yeah. So Season 3, whatever. But, Rigraff, you've been here for so long. You won a nice handful of races, including this season we talked about on the stream. If you had gotten P2 and combined crashed out, you would have won the tiebreaker because of your run race victory. So,
oh, wow. That would have been crazy.
There were a handful of us rooting for you, and we were trying to plot something up, but
it's just the underdog story. Nothing against combined.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's the dude who's in second place is the guy everyone roots for just because.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So, but Rigraff, over the last few years, man, when you think about ZRL, who are the most important people you think about, and like, what are your best memories that come to your mind?
I have a lot, honestly. Early on, like having Peter, Sanjay help me out when we were all in Ferrari. And then I was teammates for Labib for a little bit. Me and Labib would chat back and forth, even if people knew it or not.
I don't want to talk about that.
And then me and Roldy were teammates before, actually, this season. And then the season again. And we were talking about how this is probably our favorite season together and how fun it was. So Roldy's a real one. But everybody I've come across has been super nice. And this league is, I don't know. I mean, it became more to me than I would have ever realized, to be honest with you.
And that's where I sit too. I'm sure Garrett would say the same thing. It's like you hop in, you just want to do some league races, and next thing you know, all these people
it's like 4 years later.
Yeah. It's just like, I'm gonna do some races, I want to be competitive, and then now I got all these people that I have to be friends with, and I have to go all this money I have to spend to go hang out with them at the Indy 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said it already, but like I said, we've made some true friends in this league. I mean, there's always at least 5 or 6 of us in a call playing some sort of game together, or just hanging out, talking, or watching.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we watch.
Yeah.
We do. Sometimes Panini just puts on a movie, and then sometimes Ethan puts on porn because that's He's Ethan. He'll
That's
do
Ethan.
that. so
Get kind
so if
too.
Ethan's streaming, be careful. Make sure you're not at work before you look at what he's doing. But yeah, dude, Rigraff, I'm so grateful for the help you did with the stewarding and in whatever else, what other capacity you may have helped with Duncan. I'm not sure. There was a time where I was basically MIA for a while. But thank you for all that you did. And being such a chill dude and being a competent driver, not giving us too many headaches when we had issues and things like that. And just being a great friend to this league. So I appreciate your time here, and I just appreciate you in general, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, Frank. I appreciate the words. Yeah, I think Duncan couldn't have handed off to better people. And I think you did the best you could. It was so fun, man. And I don't want you to beat yourself up over anything because I think you did great. I think EA just sucks.
Yeah, I think that's really the crux of the issue is just the game just it gets worse and worse, unfortunately. They just always every time they take a little baby step forward, they take like 45 steps backwards. So it's
yeah. Unfortunate. But yeah, I appreciate you too, man. It's been fun.
all right, man. Well, I'll send you back down there, dude. You have a great rest of your night, and hopefully we're not, we don't become strangers from here on in, right?
Nah.
So hang out, dude. Come do iRacing when we do that. Whatever. Watch football. Whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see you around, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
And then go ahead.
Race. We have one more racer, and then it's
Yeah. So we'll move Chonk. We'll pull Chonk up in here. Chonk with a fantastic start to his race, but as we were joking at the start of it, hopefully about a buggy mess of a game. Chonk got all the bugs tonight. Yep. Internet didn't seem to be breaking. Just the game just decided to be breaking for you.
Yeah, it was really bad. When I rejoined, everybody was ghosting through me and then pulling 2 seconds immediately. So I was like, "Oh, the game is screwed. Oh, the game put me on mediums when it's raining. We're retiring."
So yeah, I am streaming your clip here of this mess. Oh god, it's just a diarrhea of pixels here. Basically, this is kind of an idea of what Chonk was experiencing as he was losing the lead of the race. Chonk, I know you haven't been here as long as a lot of people like myself and Garrett, but you've been here long enough to
I have
experienced a buttload of stuff. Yeah, you've been here since what? Division X, right? It's your first time.
21, yeah.
Okay. So you've been here pretty much as long as I have. So yeah. So Chonk, when you think about our league and the people that have in it or that are in it, excuse me, and have been in it or no longer in it, whatever, what memories come to mind?
I think about Logan always terrorizing me on 21. Definitely that battle with Dublin Man when we still had Division X in Coda. Probably the first 15 or so laps, something like that. I don't know. I've always just thought I've been a brave overtaker. Always never giving up the battle. Just trying to put on a little show. Not too serious.
Yeah, and we saw that last season, I think at Silverstone with you and Fiji, basically doing driving side by side, battling for the whole last half of the race, whatever happened with that. So yeah, we also remember your stinky internet phase. I think you always had stinky internet until somebody helped you out with that last season. So we're grateful for that. Yeah, Chonk, I appreciate you racing with us as long as you did, man. I know it hasn't always been super clean or super perfect for you, as you said, issues with Logan, and things like that, and then your stinky internet. But dude, I appreciate you racing with us, everything. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see you race for the win tonight, as you were in a really nice spot to do so. But yeah, that's just kind of the state of the game, I suppose.
Always happens to me at Monaco, at least. 21, 22, 23, 24.
Well,
always. I'll qualify in top 5, and then, get screwed by something in the game.
So, Chonk, before we send you out of here, do you have any final words you would like to say?
Keep racing.
Keep racing. All right, man. Well, thank you. Have a nice night, dude, and we will see you when we see you.
Yep.
All right, and that's all our racers. So
I believe Anand was the first.
he was
to join.
absolutely the first one in here. So Anand, Mr. Beamer,
Oh,
NG
hey.
himself. Oh, hey, back at you.
The Minecraft building expert himself.
Yep, that's me.
They knew about your Minecraft building skills a lot when you're not around. If you weren't aware.
Yeah.
So Nan, I know you've been here for a long time. I know your first race here would have been with our old reserve tier, whatever we used to call it, academy.
Yeah,
I
season
know,
3.
yeah, something like that. You and Spoonie used to race for race wins and stuff like that.
And Barney.
And Barney, yeah, Ryan was in there too. So, you've been here forever. I'm sure you'll still be around forever. But when you just think about your time here, think about the people, think about your races, what memories come to mind when you think about ZRL?
Probably one of the most memorable races is I think season 7 when I was in D3 fighting for the championship in Abu Dhabi, where I was battling like 3 other people for the win. I was in the lead, and then I overcut one of the Mercedes and was chasing them, but then they spun me out.
Oh
So
no.
then I was like 10 seconds back, but then I think it was Ethan that was trying to overtake the same Mercedes. They spun each other out, and then I took the lead at the end. So I think that's the most memorable race. And then also the next season when Shry was fighting for the D3 championship, I was a Haas TP. I remember engineering him, and it was like an extremely stressful race because I think he hadn't won yet. That was his first win in Singapore. So like he had gone a bunch of podiums, but that was his first win. So it was a really tense race. I remember that.
Yeah, it was an interesting battle because I believe that was with me. I don't misremember. Yeah, I mean, Anand, I appreciate, dude, you've been around for a long time. You're always playing bizarre games, dude. You're always
Yeah.
doing your own thing. I know you didn't race with us just because the value of buying the game versus what the game was
Yeah.
just wasn't, up to snuff. But
And
I
I
know
still play F123. Like I've modded career mode. I still play that.
yeah, you're always
Still
a
a good
career mode
game.
merchant. So, and
Yeah.
also controller. Like you never did wheel with us, so
Yeah.
do that for
Even
years.
iRacing.
Yeah, you even
I
do
still play
iRacing
controller.
with the controller. So Nand, as we finish up here, any final words before we time you out for 60 seconds?
Yeah. Man, fuck Fred for breaking or for moving under breaking on Fred on Simon. Sorry. That was Simon's win. Fair and square. Don't give anyone a penalty. That's it.
Stewards
Fair
will
enough.
discuss that at a later date.
Yeah, do we have tickets that never even got addressed from like the last 4 weeks?
Maybe in 10 years you can look at it.
Yeah, 10 years we'll come back and look, see if the links are still there. All right, dude. Thank you, Anand. Appreciate you been for how long you've been here. Appreciate you just being you, man. Always a fun dude. We will see you around when we see you, bro.
See ya.
And then, all right, we'll try Fred again. I'm going to move him up here, and we will do this. We will change the server to Rotterdam.
Oh my god, I'm in.
I don't know why it's playing that right now, but I'm sorry everyone had to hear that. Fred, we should be able to hear you now.
Yo.
All right, what's up, Fred?
What's cooking good looking?
All right, Fred, you've been around for a long time. I
A
know.
little too long.
I can remember battles with you and BuzzGod way back in the day.
Talk about him.
Yeah.
It's my moment.
Yeah. So, just kind of thinking back, Fred, over the years, man, you've been here a long time, always staying up all night to come race with us. Met a lot of people, but when you're just thinking about those people and all those moments, what memories come to mind? You're thinking about ZRL.
Taking Garrett out season 3 Saudi Arabia to get a podium.
I do remember that.
That's
Could have
a
been my win.
that is great memory.
As you guys can tell, Freddie's always been a dirty driver.
You can say that. Also, watching Buzzcocks spin in the France season 3, which made me win my first ever race. Beamer taking me out 5 times in China, like season 9. Garrett
What about
having a kid, Duncan having a kid. Everyone's getting old. You know, it's
yeah? What about your endless battle with Cal as you guys raced in D1?
that is something to talk about, all right? You know what? Me and Cal had like probably one of the best rivals or rivalries for a long while. I think it went on for like 6 seasons.
My favorite part,
But
dude,
even
was
better
every
than
single race you guys were racing those couple of seasons. What Cal would always be sitting there. I'm gonna take him out. I'm gonna crash him out on purpose, and then you guys would have an incident. I'm gonna ban him as soon as we're out of here. I'm gonna ban. I don't think he ever
that's what
actually did
happens when
it,
you're,
but
part of Red Bull.
So that's definitely a top 3 rivalry. K7 Nux have to be up there as well.
that one's not a rivalry. That's just someone being a dick. That's not a rivalry.
I don't know. It felt like it.
Oh, we're
Felt
allowed to swear in here now.
to a
Yeah,
certain
don't
point.
use slurs, Brad, because then we will get the video taken down.
Damn. Oh, at least going down anyway. No, I'm joking. Yeah,
All
man.
right, Fred. Yeah. So, Fred, before we
It's
send you
sad.
out of here, do you have any final words you'd like to say?
I do. All right. I wrote a whole speech.
I can't wait.
It's in my notes. Let me get it up. Oh, that's weird. Oh. I'm sure I wrote more about it. It says, "Dear all, fuck Garrett."
And that's all the time we had for Fred.
All right, you gotta admit that was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right, so we actually have Combined. So Combined has popped into the waiting room. I'm sure, hopefully, he is available to speak. A second. Maybe he can type.
Hello?
Oh, there he is. There's Combined. Combined, I'm not sure if you heard, dude, but we awarded you P3, dude, on, because Simon and Fred were murdering each other. So congratulations, you got P3 again. And you won the championship.
Funny.
So, congratulations on your championship. Well deserved. Definitely well earned, as you have been one of our staple members here for the last 500 years. Like, totally serious, dude. You've been a guy that raced every single season. And as far as I know, you were always a very active teammate, things like that, despite the odd time differences. But you always showed up, you always raced, and you always raced with a lot of respect, I think is the best part. And sometimes, your Australian internet would get the best of you and people would crash into you on accident. But it was always a pleasure racing against you and racing with you and just having you a part of our community, man. So I just want to say thank you for all that.
Yeah, thank you for you as well for organising. I tried my best with the timings. Sometimes I couldn't make it, sometimes I could. It depended on what I had on, but I almost missed today, but I luckily had it after. So yeah, but yeah, it's been a good time here. Honestly, it's been it's a good community, and you guys tried your best to get it sorted and stuff.
Yeah, we absolutely did. So Combined, when you think about your time here and you think about the people you got to race with, teammates, team principals, whatever, when you think about ZRL, what memories pop into mind?
I don't know if I've had like a particular moment that stands above. I've had so many. I'm just not sure if there's anything that like particularly goes above the rest of them. Obviously, this championship is good, but in terms of like actual racing moments, well, I did link the Buzzgod spider a few seasons ago when he spun due to having a spider in his face or something like that, or crawling on him or something. That was one of the funniest ones. And you would think that would happen in Australia, but it didn't.
Yeah, well, let me go and play this clip for everyone here. Hard to see if you're not watching the broadcast, but
Shit, exit. There's literally a
Clip.
spider on.
Oh, oh my god.
There's a spider on my fucking face.
On your face?
There's spider
This is like-
webbed on my face.
so RIP Buzz got into the wall there at Australia. It was illegal for him to drive in front of the Australian at Australia. That's why the spider had to attack him, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, I guess with that clip out there, was there any final words you'd like to say before we move on to our final two people in the waiting room?
Well, other than like saying like thanks for everything, I guess. Just, it would definitely be a miss. I'll definitely be missing it. I mean, I didn't exactly enjoy waking up for like races. Like sometimes I was a bit sleepy and I only got on like a few minutes before, but it was usually worth it unless I got hit or something. But otherwise, yeah, it's good. Good community, good racing most of the time, and yeah. I mean, I come off from the ultimate high with this one, so yeah, it's good and obviously bittersweet as well. Did you see me doing some drifts on the last corner, or were you watching me at all? Or
I do not remember at all.
It
last
was
lap,
an
I mean?
intense fight.
We were
Maybe you
watching.
didn't. Maybe you weren't watching.
We were watching Simon and Fred crash into the wall, crash each other into the wall a lot. So we definitely missed some stuff
Oh
happening
yeah.
behind. So, so yeah, all
No,
right.
not
Well,
much happened behind.
yeah.
I didn't have the best race.
All right. Well, combined, thanks again for racing as long as you did, bro. Thanks for being you. Appreciate you. And we'll see you around, man.
Yeah, hopefully to see some of everyone here on like some people here on track elsewhere, like another league or something. I don't know, or just it'll be tough though with the timings. But yes, thanks
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah, you bet. All right. Have a good morning or whatever it is right now in Australia. I'm not sure. So thanks again, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that Australian ping. All right. So it looks like we have. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I think OG is next.
No. We have to save the best for last.
Oh,
So that leaves us with the legend of Genghis Khan 54. Old Hudson Pool.
What's up, dude?
What is going on? So yeah, I know you got to race with us a couple times this season, or maybe just one time at Spa. And that was a fun race, but I'm glad you're able to do that. I know everyone's getting older. You got more important things to do. How are you doing, Hudson?
I'm doing good. I got a glimpse of the race that was happening today, and I only got to watch like towards the end, but I saw we were doing talks, and I wanted to come in here because I think I joined. I think I was like a reserve in the end of season 2, and then I was full time season 3, and like, dude, it was just so much fun. Just like going in your little calls and practicing, and then every fucking Sunday at 5 p.m. for me, and then just
Mhm.
racing. It was so fun. Like every Sunday, I would have something to look forward to. It was just ZRL racing, and then you'd rewatch the stream and hope the fucking announcers would say your name and shit, and you just watch it and show it to your friends, dude. There's so many good memories, so many good like stupid rivalries too. like of Quentin and Dago and Travis Robinson and Ian Krieger, dude. It goes back so far. It was so much fun through all of it.
So,
So
with you
what?
saying that, what did you look forward to more on Sundays? Your hockey games or the ZRL race? Because I know there's a lot of times you'd have to hurry up and go to hockey after.
That's right. That's right. I like both equally. All right, we'll leave it at that. Now,
Fair
I
enough.
I would have the games at 7 and the races at 5. So then the race, well, depending if it was full qualifying or not. Hopefully it wasn't, you know. So then the race would end around like 6:15, 6:30. And then I would already have my whole hockey bag and everything ready at the door. So as soon as the race is over, just get out of the seat and go. My dad's like, dude, we gotta go. I'm like, hold on. As I'm fucking racing. That was a lot of fun. And then, dude, I think the best part was us all getting together. It was Garrett. So all you guys in the call, you know, Frank, Garrett, Duncan, um, Cal, Fitz, and we all went to the Indy 500. Dude, that was the first time I've like gone like really far from home, and then we all just watched the race together. I'll always remember that. That was a lot of fun.
We
Man, you
still
got
plan on doing that every year.
Hell yeah.
So for anybody that's watching, if you're interested,
I'll definitely be
we'll make
there.
an announcement.
I know Cal and Duncan and Fitz will wind up being there too, and you, Garrett, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, when we start playing that, we'll try and make an announcement. Everyone will ignore us, but like they did last year and the year before. But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, we can get more people. Maybe drag Joel and Ethan in there somehow. But Hudson, you're sitting there talking about your memories. Was there anything specific, man, that you can think that come up that just pop in the top of your head that you'd like to share with us?
Definitely nice. It was, I don't remember what season it was. It was Coda, and it was either in 22 or 23. And you were my engineer, and I think I was in the fight with Dago. I think.
Cody. It was Cody. Had to have been Cody.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No, because he like he qualified, and then I like fought Luke Lockley or something at the very
Oh,
end.
maybe it was Dago.
And but it was like I qualified horribly. Oh no, I fought Cody. Wait, am I getting races mixed up? I don't know,
I don't
but
know.
I remember freaking out at the end because it was the last race and we won the championship, and we both freaked out, and we're like, "Let's go!"
I
That
feel
was a
like I
lot of
remember
fun.
also you were like moping a little bit during the sprint. You're like, "Oh man, we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
lose it. We're
yeah.
gonna." I had to try to, I don't know, give you a little pep talk, and then yeah, you went out and won the race. I think I have it right here. Yeah, it's a great little moment. We had a lot of moments like that with Red Bull. I know because we kept drafting the same people over and over. But yeah, those were some really good times. So Hudson,
Back
before
in
we
the
move on, go ahead, Garrett.
I was just saying back in the Red Bull dynasty.
Yeah, the Red Bull
Yeah.
Dynasty. Yep. And so yeah, before we move on to the final person here in the waiting room, was there anything you'd like to say?
I love you guys. I'd say, bro, I'll always remember you. Always in my memories. Fucking thinking I was some esport prodigy, even though I was absolute nowhere near
Dude,
it.
what
And
you that
so many
one
people.
WR race at Monza, dude, where you were cooking dudes, you had a real chance, dude. But then they decided
That
to
was
move the
true.
days away. It was like, oh, they see this American kid being good. Let's change the days. Come on.
I do remember that. And then what was his name? Adam Stevenson. He got my hopes up. Thing I was joining like Alpine Esports or some shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Adam
Anyways,
Stevens.
bro,
Yeah.
just thank you guys for carrying this on after Duncan. So much appreciation to Duncan. He definitely got my motivation for the game. And then obviously you owning the league, and thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks you for being with us for as long as you were, man. Thank you for all the fun memories. So have a good night, bro.
You too. Bye bye, Garrett.
See ya.
And last but not least, ZRL's official sponsor, the world-class male model, Campbell Lowry Hart, also
What is
known
up?
as OG. How are
What's up,
you
guys?
doing? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little bit sad. Well, not even a little bit. I like when I heard the announcement, I was emotional about it. And then, unfortunately, I was at work, so I didn't get to see. I was out of town yesterday, and then I was at work today, and so I didn't get to see the final two races. But it's sad. Like this place means a lot to me. I think, 2 years ago, maybe no, over 3 years ago now. I think it was three, um, or it will be three. When I graduated community college and like, dude, like that was a big part. Like ZRL was a big part of my that was my community college experience too, because it was like online classes. It was crazy, and then it's just been such a big part of my young adult life. Like graduated high school, joined ZRL basically. Like it's such a big part of me, and so it's pretty sad that we're no longer racing, even though I'm not, participating in that racing or haven't been recently, but
I wonder why
it's
we're having to
emotional.
fold, Campbell. I want no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
My bad, guys. My bad.
But dude, I know you haven't. It's been a couple of seasons you have raced, but when you're thinking about, but you have been here. You've been here even longer than I have, as I just showed the stream there, September of 2021. So just over 3 years now. When you're just thinking about all your time here, what memories pop up in your head when you think about ZRL?
Well, firstly, we'll think of two memories that involve both you. Number one, I think it was your first ever race in Abu Dhabi. I had no idea where my pace was. It was so sorry. It was so out of like I had been practicing, I was gonna do good, and then I was absolutely nowhere. And you were behind me or in front of you were in the Haas. And anyway, I just remember thinking like, who is this BMF guy? Like I need to beat him. But it turned out I had wing damage the whole time, and that's where my pace was. Um, and so that was my introduction to you. And then in Singapore, which I believe was the next race, you killed my best ever qualifying position.
Oh, wait, I ran into the
And
back of you. I forgot about
yes,
that.
bro. My best ever quali position it was P2, I think, and the guy in front of us, God, I can't remember his name, but like he was a ticking time bomb, like
It
that.
was
Yes, cryptid,
There
and
you go.
he never did he never finished a race. Like he was quick, but then he would just blow up. Um, and so yeah, I thought that was funny. And then Garrett, the literal, we finished with Monaco. Garrett is the king of Monaco, and I just remember, being in and out of calls. But there was like that one week where he found the ABS glitch, or low braking glitch, and he's
Yes.
like,
Low
"What were
brake
you top
assist.
50 in the world?" Like on
Yeah.
time trial, like dude, like I remember thinking, I don't know, dude. Like Ricardo was top 50, Garrett was top 50, and like having these people, I thought it was really cool. Like we're racing with some of the fastest people here, and I really liked it. I loved that. So I mean that's just with y'all too, but one of my other favorite memories was also with Red Bull, and it wasn't even as a driver. It was me as I was being an engineer for just Honda at the time, and Duncan and Joel and Fletcher and Travis Robinson got 1 through 4 at Britain to start the season opener, and that shit was just so electric to be a part of that. Like the moving from call to call, like strategy, dude, and yeah, I think that's one of my favorite memories. Obviously, I have 2 wins in there. I got to throw that out there. But I think, my favorite memories aren't necessarily driving. They're just, being a part of it. I really loved it, and so I'm glad to have been a part of it.
And bro, we're glad that you've been a part of it too. I mean, it's also nice to have a male model with us to give us all something to strive
Absolutely, dude.
for and to show us what all the good clothes are. Um,
Absolutely.
but just from a personal standpoint, dude, I'm glad that you've been around, or I mean that we
Aw.
got to know you and all that good stuff. Spending so much time together and things like that. Even though we do like to give you crap for not hanging
Yeah,
out
I've
as
been
much
I've
as a
been
lot of
flaky
people do.
recently, bro. I've been flaky recently. I know. But dude, I'll come back. Yeah, it's perfect time to come back right when everything dies.
Of course, of course.
I think it's beautiful. But I like, I think the first person I ever talked to in here, it was Revis. Um and
Rebus Christ, our savior.
exactly, Rebus Christ. I remember, and I was so nervous. So I was technically a part of Aston Martin for I think season 1 and the last 3 races, and I was too nervous to even show up, to even click attendance, and I made up a lie to Revis that like I couldn't race or whatever for the last 3 races, and so I started with season 2, fresh slate, um, and it just I didn't think I would become such great friends with everyone. You know, you both of you guys, Ethan, Joel, Buzzgod was my best friend in here. Fred, everybody, literally everybody, Spanini, Sanjay, Beamer, like that. I made such great friends here, and I didn't think that was gonna be a thing. I was on 75 AI when I joined, 75 AI, and I thought that was pretty damn good too. And I don't know, dude. It's been such a pleasure to just hang out with y'all, and I'm really gonna miss it, and so it's been such a pleasure.
Man, thank you for those final words. I think that is pretty much it for our little stream here. Um, I don't know what else to say. Garrett, do you have?
Just guess thank the whole ZRL community. I mean, from season 0 up till now, it's been fun. I haven't raced for. I mean, I've been flaky the past few seasons, but it's been amazing. Great
And
times, great memories, great friends. I mean, you can't really ask for much more out of a racing league, even if our shelf life wasn't very long.
I mean, 3 years, man. I feel like
fun.
3 years was pretty dang good, honestly. Um, so I think about myself 3 years ago where I was at, not even in the same state anymore. So
Wow.
so
Say, I know some people have had some ups and downs, like not just like in the racing, but like in real life, and
mhm.
we've helped them through it. Not going to get any details, but I know myself, Duncan, plenty of people. Joel's had some ups and downs, and they've always came here, and we've helped them through it, and just everybody's became a family.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that.
I'm eternally grateful for everyone who's come through here, and I just want to throw a little shout out, name drop a few people before we sign off. We haven't been around in a while. No, Revis is gone, but he was a big part of this league becoming what it was, just being our top broadcaster for so long. Helped me kind of understand how to do that when I joined him season 3 on the D1 broadcast, and other guys like Adam who hasn't been around for a long time, just kind of graduated to iRacing a long time ago, and now he's graduating to real racing, bro. That dude is on another level now. Guys like Buffalo Trace, Siggy, who left here in anger like a year and a half
A
ago.
million times, dude.
A million times. Who else do we think? Who else do I have here? I don't know. Gabriel DeVries for being such a weirdo.
Please.
I can't even think.
There's way too many. I mean, we've had a lot of people come in, help out a ton, and then just kind of move on with their life. But
Shout out
they left an
Raptor.
impact on all of us.
Yeah.
PBJ
is a big
like,
one. PBJ, yeah.
The early commentary was so amazing, and like Ryan Newton, who is one of like the fastest guys in Zero Hit. Like we got him through the YouTube because I think because the quality of the broadcast was so high, and so much of that growth I think is due to Revis, due to Buffalo, due to PBJ, their skills on the mic. Like it's really important to ZRL. And we like truthfully like we could not have grown to this size without their help. It's really cool.
Just a couple of names rolling through here. Alex Duarte, always a chill dude. Josh Barnsley, a dude was here from
Shaggy Muffin.
Shaggy Muffin. Comrade Revis.
I mean, someone that posted in general. I mean, Bronson, one of the
yeah.
guys that really got this league competitive. Him,
Oh,
Victor.
Yeah. Him and Victor,
Peter.
Jack Pemberton, Ian Krieger,
Peter
Sid. Sid coming home drunk.
Sid, I haven't
5 a.m. for him. Sometimes he'd show up, sometimes he wouldn't. He was placed in D2 because his dude, it was.
He still won 2 championships, beating the legend Johannes Ludwig.
Dude,
twice.
Johannes. Oh my
This-
god.
All right, sorry. I'm gonna jump off topic. Eric McNerney may have the most seasons raced. He was
Dude,
here
he's a
since
goat.
season
He
0.
has to, bro. I know he missed some seasons. I
I think
haven't.
he just missed.
It would
He
take a
missed
long
one
time
season.
to catalog it. Maybe I know he didn't race this season.
Maybe 2.
Race last season, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, but he was here a long time. We even have a whole channel that was specifically made specifically for him. So, there's that. So he's definitely a big part of the history of ZRL. But I don't know, Razor. We haven't mentioned Razor. Razor, our Brazilian homie.
Oh
Just
my god, I love Razor.
Razor. Just
We could sit here all day and find
Dude,
names.
literally, like go through name after name. Like, so many people were important. So
So
many
many
people.
people, so many memories.
yeah. So I guess we'll just have to. We went through the names. I appreciate you guys chatting with me. Garrett, I appreciate you hopping on these last 2 broadcasts, and everyone else. I guess for the final time, y'all. That is it.
One more thing
One
before
more
we do
thing.
that. One more thing. For those of you guys who are just, pretty much racers in this league, don't be afraid to hop and chat with us. We're always doing something different. You may find something you enjoy doing with us. I mean, we watch football all the time, soccer, movies, we play all sorts of games. Don't be afraid to jump in and, still be a part of the community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what Garrett said. Thank you, Garrett, for bringing that up. And I guess that's it. So, whenever we decide to bring something up, we'll let you know. So, don't mute us forever. But thank you guys again for everything. I'm so grateful I got to do what I've been able to do the last 3 years.